So for my presentation, I decided to actually stick with my theme, and my theme is teaching the five senses at kind of like a younger age of students. So I decided to make my presentation in the sense of taste, and I'm going to kind of present it in a way that I would teach it in a classroom. So students, we've been going over a bunch of the five senses lately, and today we're going to talk about taste. So let's get started. So let's start with a question. What do you think that an apple tastes like, or what does it taste like to you? Think about it for a few seconds. Now share what you think an apple tastes like with a friend that is sitting next to you. Okay, now that you have shared it with a friend, raise your hand if you want to share what you think an apple tastes like. And then at this point, I would pick 3 students that were sitting really good with their hands raised and being quiet to share. Okay, now that we shared, I'm going to share what I think the apples taste like. So I think apples are really sweet. I think they're very juicy when you taste them. And I also think that they kind of taste a little bit like apple juice. So now that we've talked about what an apple tastes like, which of these things would we use to taste the apple? Which body part? So we have an eye right here, and then we have a tongue right here. So raise your hand if you think you use the eye to taste. Okay, now raise your hand if you think you use the tongue to taste. Okay, let's see who's right. So if you pick the tongue, you're absolutely right. We use our tongues to taste. And as you can see in the picture with this little boy, he was probably tasting something really yummy. He has blue stuff all over his tongue, because your tongue is normally pink or red. But maybe he was tasting some yummy blue candy, or even maybe a blue popsicle. So, tongues come in all different shapes and sizes, and animals have tongues too that they use to taste, but their tongues look a little bit different than ours. So let's start with a cat. Look at the cat's tongue. It looks kind of like it's got some little sharp pieces on it, which makes totally perfect sense because cats actually use their tongues to taste, but they also use their tongues to clean the fur off of themselves. So they have to have kind of a sharper tongue so that they can get all their fur off. And then if we look at this dog, its tongue kind of looks like ours, but it's super long, and dogs, all different kinds of dogs have different kinds of tongues. This dog has a super long tongue because it's a big dog, but a smaller dog would have a little tongue. So our tongue helps us to taste, but there's actually little dots on our tongues that are the reason that we can taste food. And these little dots are called taste buds. Now, if you've ever looked in the mirror, you can see the little dots on your tongue, but we're going to look at them right now. So I want you to turn to the person sitting next to you and stick out your tongue, but do not touch each other's tongues. Just look. Okay, now look for the little dots that are all over their tongues. Do you guys see them? Okay, those are the taste buds on your tongue. You can go home and you can look in the mirror too, and you can see your own taste buds. And those are the main things that help us to taste our food. So now that we've talked about the tongue a lot, what is your favorite thing to taste? Think about it in your head for a few seconds. I'll give you just one thing, your most favorite thing to taste. Okay, everyone got it in their head? Now share with a friend that is sitting next to you what your most favorite taste is. Okay, everyone done sharing? Raise your hand if you want to share your favorite taste. And then again, I would pick 3 people who are sitting nicely and quietly with their hands raised to share their favorite taste. Okay, your favorite tastes are awesome. So here are some of my favorite tastes. I really like the taste of apples because I think they're super sweet and super juicy. And then I love the taste of ice cream because it is also super sweet and tastes a lot like sugar. And I really like it when it tastes like strawberries. That's my favorite kind, when it's pink like this. And then I also love the taste of candy, especially chocolate, because it's super sweet. So most of my favorite things to taste are very sweet. Raise your hands if you like apples. Okay, now raise your hand if you like ice cream to taste. And raise your hand if you like candy to taste. So isn't that cool? A lot of us have similar things that we like to taste, and a lot of people like when things taste super, super sweet. So that is super cool. So today, what have we learned? We learned what the sense of taste is. We learned that we use our tongue to taste, and that our taste buds are the main things that help us taste, and we've even learned what some of our friends like to taste. So that is it for our lesson today, and we learned about the sense of taste. And then at the end I just have references because I used a lot of pictures, and I just have credits to those people. And then if we look over here, we just have the setup of where I made my PowerPoint, and each slide has little notes at the bottom down here, so that I kind of just knew what I was going to say. It's just basic ideas, nothing too detailed. And so, yep, that's it. That is my presentation on the sense of taste in the classroom.